How are you, my people? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you're all glad and excited to be back here. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming, that we're gonna talk, we're gonna have another conversation. And today I would like us to talk about something that is a bit sensitive and something that we all need to emulate and learn, because it's very key and it's something that gets us at times by surprise, and at times we don't know however best to deal with it. And it's good that we learn, because in one way or another it's something that we've gotten ourselves into, and it's something that we know, yes, it may not be our wish, but we'll get ourselves into it. And what is this? It's about grieving. Grieving, maybe us personally, and how at times we need to deal with someone who is grieving. And I know at times it's usually very confusing when you have a friend, a colleague, or someone close who is grieving. At times you never know, at times even however best to deal with this person, because in one way or another you don't quite understand whatever this person is going on, but you have an idea of whatever this person is going on. At times you don't know whatever to say, at times you even don't know however to handle this person, but it's good at times we get to learn how to handle such people, and how ourselves we should be like, how to behave or what to do to cope with grief, and to cope with maybe losing a loved one and such like. One and foremost, and ask ourselves as an individual, what can you do at times when you lose a loved one? What is that thing that at times can help you maybe heal faster? What is this thing that can help you ease the pain and maybe the bad feeling that at times that comes with us losing a loved one? One and foremost, something that we should know about grieving and when we lose someone that we love so much, always be free to allow yourself to grieve in your best way. Because one thing that we can get to agree with is there is no set way on however someone should be grieving. There is no set timeline of the duration someone should be grieving. There is no maybe a set duration or maybe a set manner of how someone should grieve, what you should do and all that. So as an individual, be free to allow yourselves, to allow your emotions at times, carry them out. If you're the kind of people who cry, just cry. If you're the kind of people who become sad, just be sad. If you're the kind of people at times who get maybe to shout and such like, to wail and all that kind of manner, just be free with yourselves. Express your emotions the best of way. Don't be there to like restrain yourself. No, because you know, in grieving there are various people. There are people who cry a lot. There are people who don't cry, by the way. There's some people who talk a lot. There's some people who don't talk. There are some people at times who detach themselves too much. They don't want to see people. They don't want maybe to eat. They don't sleep. They don't know. They like they're in a different world. There are some people who will just be normal. There are some people who mourn in some kind of way, and at times you'll be surprised. So just know yourself and let free your emotions. Whatever you feel at a certain given time, just allow your emotions to just express themselves in such a kind of manner. Don't be so strict on yourself that I should not be crying in this time, I should not be crying in this time, maybe I shouldn't be crying. It's not a must. It's not everyone who cries. At times just allow yourself to mourn, or maybe to express feelings your best of way. Something else that we need to do as individuals, at times it's very important to just talk when it's important. If you feel not like talking, don't be there to talk, because at times maybe the people around you may expect you to be talking, but maybe at a certain given time you don't feel like talking. They expect you maybe to be expressing whatever you feel, but at a certain given time you're not free to do that. So talk when necessary, talk when you feel like. Don't be pressured by anyone to talk, and when you feel like talking, don't be told to keep quiet. Just talk. At times when you're grieving, there are moments you'll wake up, you want to talk. There are moments you don't want to be talked by anyone. So just know when to talk and when not to talk. Don't be pressured by anyone to talk, and don't be pressured by anyone to keep quiet. Just know whatever you feel yourself. Something else we need to engage in when we are grieving or when you're mourning, at times, the people around you, they may not know however best to support you. You have people close to you, maybe family members are there, friends and all that, but they also don't know however best to help you. Always be free to ask them the kind of support you want. Maybe you want someone to walk you around, just to like have that nature walk and such like. Ask a person to help you in that. Maybe any kind of support that you need, be there to speak it out. Because at times, the other individual doesn't know however best. Because in one or another, they know you are in mixed feelings. They also don't know very well whatever you want. They may try this, maybe that's not whatever you want. Feel free within yourselves to ask whatever. Maybe at a certain given time, I want this. Ask that other person so that they can also be there to know whatever to do. Because at times, I don't know whether you have ever dealt with someone who is grieving, and at times you're so confused. You don't know whatever to tell them. You don't know however to help, because you try this, no, I don't want that. You try this, I don't want that. So as an individual, it's good to always be there and be so okay to share out whatever kind of support you want. That's something else that is very important. And it's also good at times when we are grieving, and at times it's good to have those times of maybe having memories and maybe pressurizing them, and even maybe at times putting some things that will help you remember this person. It's at times maybe you can even write a journal about the person you loved or the person who has left you. You can write a song, you can write a poem, you can have maybe the last photo you had together, you preserve it. Maybe the last conversation you had, you can have a printout of it. Anything that you feel will feel special to you as a memory of this person. It's good at times to have it. So there are people who go there out and create an art. Some people who even plant a tree in relation to this person who has left them. Anything that you feel by doing it, you will feel this person was special to you. It's something that maybe will keep reminding you of this person. It's also good at that time. It will help you express the love. You know, now this person is gone, and there's so much that you feel you love this person, you cared about this person. That thing that you can do that is so special, and specifically you are doing it for this person, that is something else that you can do, and it will help you to at times even relieve that kind of expression that you have. You know that you can express the love by writing it somewhere, write a journal, write a poem. At times have that art, like you can plant at something special that you can do that will make you feel satisfied. Maybe it's something that a gift that this person had given you. You can pressurize it. You can just have it as a memory to this person. Something else that individually we can do when we are grieving, always joining in these, even in meetings and memorial services. At times when someone has gone or someone has left, there will always be these meetings that are made to like join up together, have some prayer meetings and such like. Always be there to join in the other people when in that time of mourning. Maybe a week or maybe 2 weeks before you bury this person, there will always be meetings. There will always be gatherings. Be there in those meetings. Be there in those gatherings. You help heal faster because you are in it together. You feel like you're not in it alone. Because in those meetings, you get to know that most of the discussions, most of the talks, people will be talking about how they love this person, the memories they had with this person. It gets to like relieve, and also it's very, very important to also engage in the funeral and the burial of this person, because it gives you a closure in your mind and even in your thoughts and all that this person has gone. That moment when you just join up in that gathering of the burial, you get to see the casket goes down, you take the soil, you put, and it gives you a closure. At times during the burial is usually the worst moment, because this is the day that you like see literally this person is gone. When you see that person you loved in a casket, it's usually traumatizing. At times it's usually like, okay, for sure, this person has gone. That time that you just see the casket go down, and you're like, now, we, the people who loved this person, we are burying him. We just forgetting this person. It's good at times to attend either the funeral or the burial of that person that you really loved, because it gives you a closure, and you now start the healing process of accepting, no, this person is God. He's no longer in the mortuary. He's no longer somewhere lying. He's now gone. We'll never get to see him. We'll never get to see her. So it gives you a closure. So it's very important to engage in the burial ceremony. So those are the things that at times we should engage in when we have lost a person, and they will help us in one way or another to get to heal and to get to accept and even to get to admit that the thing is real and our loved one is gone. Now something else that I would like us to talk about is now how to deal with someone who is grieving. Now me as the other person, I'm not the one who is grieving. I'm now dealing with someone who has lost someone. Yani maybe it's a colleague or it's a friend who has gotten to lost a loved one. Now how do I help this person in this moment of grieving? And it's also something that is usually very important, because that person needs someone close. A friend of mine has lost a loved one. He has lost maybe a life partner, a wife or a husband. This person maybe has lost a sister, a sibling, or a brother in that manner. This person maybe has lost a child and such like, an auntie, a shosho and such like. How now do I deal with this other person who is grieving? And there are things that we should do, there are things that we should avoid, there are things that we can engage in. And which are some of these things that maybe in one or another we can try to help this person who is mourning. One and foremost is allowing them to grieve their best way. I have a friend who is mourning. Let me not go there and tell them to mourn in a certain manner. Let me allow them to mourn in their best way. Let me allow them to express their emotions in their best way. I'll not be there to determine, do this. Allowing them at times to mourn in their best way, allowing them to express themselves in their best way, because we're different and we can never be the same. Something else is not being there to ask them questions and maybe to expect them to talk and such like, giving them that openness of talking when necessary, and not there to like questioning them. There are things you keep on questioning someone who is mourning, and it gets offending. Being there, just your presence, you there to listen to them when they feel like talking, and maybe to like engage them in talks when they feel like talking. But when they don't feel like talking, always let them be, because it's not a time of conversation and such like, only if they feel okay to engage in the conversations. Something else is offering a listening ear. If there's something that a grieving person wants, it's someone to listen to them, because there are people who really talk at times when they are grieving. They want to express how they loved this person, how they are feeling, the memories they had. Be there to listen to such like, be there to like offer them that support of a listening ear. If they start telling you of how they loved these people, the memories, whatever they feel they have lost, the kind of stress they have, maybe how will I do with this person and such like, be there to offer that listening ear. And your response, the kind of response you give them a response of love and compassion, no judgment at all. This is not the time to start and judging this person or to start like telling them, do you know, maybe you could have done this, you could have done things. No, it's not a time of judgment. It's a time of much love and compassion. Be there to love them, to be so compassionate about them, to show a lot of empathy. Yani, be that good listener when you have someone who is mourning. Something else we can really do when we have someone who is grieving, it's always good to ask the kind of support they would like you to offer, because you may never be sure. You may do things that are not relevant at that moment to that person. It's good to always ask them. In the morning they have woken up, ask them, maybe what can I do to make you feel a bit easy. The kind of help you can offer this person, it's always good at times to ask, because at times you're never sure, and this is something that we can get to agree with. At times you're never sure whatever this person wants, so it's very good to ask them, do you want something that I can help you in? Because you may be doing things that will not make them feel loved, but if you ask them and they like tell you whatever they want you to help you with, it will feel beneficial to them, because you're doing whatever feels best to them. So it's good to ask them the kind of help you can offer. Something else is also joining them up in those memorial services. Join them in those evening meetings, be there at their homes and such like, and also always ensure that you, if possible, join into the funeral, join into the last send-off of that loved one. Be there for them. Show them that you also care, you're also concerned, you can sacrifice yourself, your time for them. So be with them in the memorial services, in the evening meetings, prayer time, in the funeral. Ensure that you're there for that friend, for that loved one, so that you can help them in the mourning journey. When you're mourning, if there's something you will always be glad with, is having that support system. So be there from the first day to the last day. Be there for that person. You make them strong, you make them feel they are not alone in the journey they are in. When you ever get to hear, as a friend or maybe as a colleague, if you ever get to hear maybe someone has lost someone, it's always very important to always make a call. It's good to maybe write that SMS. It's very important to pay a personal visit if it's a place you can visit. If it's someone you can send cards, you can even send flowers. The moment you get to realize and so person has lost someone, as a friend or as a colleague, immediately, the same day. Don't wait at 2-3 days. It's very important. The same day you have noticed that you have gotten to hear the news that so has lost someone. Be on the lookout. Call, SMS. It doesn't matter. Maybe the call, maybe he or she didn't take the call, but call. Let that person get to know such and such person called. SMS, if possible. Visit. If it's somewhere that you can be able to visit, be there. Because at times, that sudden news, at times it's so breaking. And when you get to get the overwhelming love from colleagues, from friends and such like, it eases the shock. Because that day when you get the news, at times it's not even getting into terms with yourself. So it's a time that you need someone close, because there are some people who can do even a sudden, they can harm themselves, or you can do something that isn't right when you get such kind of news. So it is always very important. If you ever get to hear that someone has lost a loved one, and this is someone who is close to you, it's very important. The same minute you get to realize, make a call. Write that SMS. Maybe the call is not going through, maybe he or she is not in a position to take a call. You can even call a closer person who can get. At times you even get to know that this person is okay, or where this person is, how he is handling and all that. It's good to pay a visit and such like. Maybe what are the kind of helps we can offer someone who is grieving? First, we'll talk about the emotional help. Because if there's something that person who is grieving really needs, it's that emotional help. And in emotions, one and foremost is take care of the emotions. When they are crying, don't tell them not to cry. When they don't feel like crying, don't feel like they should be crying. When they are not talking, don't feel like they should be talking. Allow them to express the emotion as they like. If they feel like shouting, let them do. However their emotions are, be there to take care of the emotions. Something that is so emotional at times is when allow them talk when necessary. Don't pressure them to talk. This is something I'm repeating again and again. And something else that relates to emotions is at times not telling them how they should mourn and how they should not mourn. Don't tell them that like whatever will work for them. But when you do this, when you stop this, and when you do this, no, just give them that willingness to do whatever feels best to them. Be there to listen to them, be there to show them compassion, be there to give them that comfort that comes from that extra person. And the fourth thing that relates to emotional support is be there to hold their hands, be there to just give them a shoulder to lean on, hug them when necessary. That human touch, it gets to make someone heal faster. So those are 4 key things that we need to really engage in for emotional support. Allow them to express their emotions, let them talk when necessary, and don't pressure them to talk. The third thing listen to them and show them a lot of compassion. And the fourth thing, be there for that human touch. Give them that shoulder to lean on, hold their hands when necessary, hug them when necessary, and you make them feel emotionally they are cared for. And what are those maybe physical support that you can give to this person, those technical, those maybe physical support that you can give to someone who is mourning? One and foremost, be there to help in household chores and such like. Be there to cook for this person, be there to clean their house for them, be there to do laundry for them. Yani, support them in each and every household that needs to be done. The second thing that you can help in is helping them in some family laws and such like. In that, if you're told this person has children, you can take the children for some moment and at least help her or help him to take care of those children for a certain period of time. There are some roles, maybe if that person has some things that are expected for him from him, you can help them. If it's something that he or she must do on a daily basis and something that you feel you can help them with some given roles that will relieve them and will make them feel like the burden. The only thing they are dealing with is the grief. Any other role that at times could be expected of them, you're there to support that person. Something else that you can help in is at times taking their telephone and answering their calls. This is something that is usually very important because you are helping that person to avoid each kind of call that is made. You know, everyone who makes the call, he'll be coming or she'll be coming with maybe a certain question, as maybe he'll be asking you about something that you don't want to hear at the certain moment. It's always good as a friend or as a colleague or as someone who is close, take that phone of that person, be there to answer the calls, be there to answer the SMS, to respond to each and everything that, because at times switching off the phone may not be a solution because there's someone there out who maybe wants to know a certain thing. Maybe where can I need my help? How can I help and such like. So at times it's good as the closest person, take the phone of that person, let it be on. You can be there to answer the calls. You can be there to answer to the SMS, to respond to each and every need that maybe the other person may be consulting the person who is mourning and such like. So always be there to help in such kind of roles. Anything that this person is requesting, it's good to honor any kind of maybe request they have. If maybe the mourning person requests you to do a certain thing, be there to honor that request. This is not a time of maybe neglecting their request or maybe just ignoring any request that they make. If they want to be on a certain time of the hour at night, be there to accompany them. If they want to be outside the house on a certain given time, be there. At times, some of the requests someone who is mourning might be making, they may look unrealistic to you, but be there to like offer that moral support, to be there to like respect each and everything that they request. However unrealistic it may seem to you, that is not a time of declining their request. Be there to accept their request. So as we have said, be there to help in household chores, household responsibility, help in certain roles. The third thing, help them in maybe phone calls and such like. And for the fourth thing, any request that they make, be there to honor it. Those are other 4 physical things that we need to apply when we're dealing with someone who is mourning. Now, something else that I would like us to talk about is things to avoid when you're dealing with someone who is mourning, because most of the times that is when we do things that we shouldn't be doing at such given time. What are these things that we need to avoid? What are these things that we shouldn't be doing when we have someone who is mourning? One thing that we should avoid telling a grieving person is telling them that they are not grieving in the best way, or maybe however they are expressing themselves, it's something that they shouldn't be doing. No, you never correct someone who is mourning. You never keep on telling someone who is mourning that you should be doing this, you should not be doing this. No. When someone is grieving, you don't go there and tell them, you should not be doing this, you should be doing this. At times be there to like support them, but not like correcting them and judging them by whatever they are doing, because them themselves, they know better whatever they are feeling. Something else that we should avoid is where instead of listening to their story, you are there giving them your story of grieving. Maybe someone has lost a mom. Maybe you also lost a mom years back. It's not the best time to start telling them of whatever you went through when you were grieving. In one way or another, it might not make sense to them. You may feel like maybe this one will make sense to them, but maybe it might not, because your concept is different. Maybe the reason why your mom died and the reason why his or her mom has died is very different. It's a time of listening to them, but not at times giving life experiences. You're not there like to tell them, you know, when my mom died, I did this and it worked for me. No, don't be there. Let them mourn them their way. This is their mother. You mourned your mom in your own way. Let them mourn their mother in their own way, or maybe that other loved person. So it's not a time of maybe telling stories of your experiences or how you handled a certain type of person, how you mourned them and such like. No. Let them speak, you're just there to listen. It's not a time of you giving them, no. Someone who is mourning at times, they'll get to be offended by a very little thing. So do a lot of listening and not talking. Something else, stop comparing their kind of mourning with someone else's mourning or maybe your own mourning. Don't be there to compare. Don't be like, you know, even so and so recently, they lost their who and who, and they behaved in this and they did this. No, it's not a time of comparison. It's not a time of showing them they are exaggerating things. It's not a time of showing them it's not a big deal. Even so and so lost so and so. No. It's not a time of comparison. It's not a time to show them that they are overdoing or they are exaggerating things. Don't compare they are mourning with someone else mourning, because for a fact it's different and they are mourning different people. Also, it's very important to avoid some unrealistic advice. You know, there's an advice you give to someone who is grieving. According to you, you feel maybe it's workable, but at times avoid unrealistic ways of maybe advising someone. There are some things you don't just tell someone who is grieving. Avoid some unrealistic talks. Some things that you speak of and you're like, okay, maybe it's true, but that is not what that person needs to be hearing at such a given time. It's good to avoid advices, because there's some advice that you give. Yes, it might be making sense, but at the moment, it's so unrealistic. Avoid those unrealistic advices. Something that maybe in one or another may get to hurt the emotion of this person. Avoid some advices. Advice is good, but at some points, it's very unnecessary. And also something else, don't determine whatever this person should be feeling. Don't be there to tell them, you know, I understand however you feel. Don't be there to show them whatever they should be feeling and whatever they should not be feeling. Or maybe you're there telling them, now it's days and it's weeks. I think you should not be doing this by now. You should not be crying by now. You should have accepted. You should have. No, don't be there to predetermine their feelings and their emotions. You just be there to support them, accept them, maybe deal with whatever they are feeling, but not predetermine them. Now it's the third day, it's the fourth day, maybe you should not be crying, maybe you should have accepted, maybe you should have done this. No, don't determine for them about whatever they should be feeling. No, don't be there to determine for them. Just be there to offer them support, but not to show them you should be feeling things. You should not be feeling things. By now you should have healed. By now you should have forgotten. By now you should have accepted. No, that should not be a bother to you. Maybe I would like to talk on maybe some phrases or some words you should not tell someone who is grieving. Because in one or another, there are some things that we usually speak of and they might be true, but that is not what that person needs to be hearing at that time. There are some statements that we usually utter, and in one or another, they are kind of offending. Yes, they are real, and at times maybe us saying it, we feel like we are comforting these people. But in one way or another, we are not. We are worsening the wood, or we are worsening the situation. Maybe someone has gotten to lose a husband or a wife. You should not tell that person, you're still young. You'll get married again. You'll get someone to love you like you did. That is not something that you should tell to someone who is mourning. No. Don't tell a wife who has lost a husband that you'll get married again. No. That is something that it could be true. But that is not what that person needs to be hearing. You don't tell a mom who has lost a child that, or maybe a couple that has lost a child, thank God you have other children. No. That is something that we should never tell someone who is mourning the loss of a child. Don't tell them that, thank God you have other children. In one or another, this person knows that he or she has other children. And there's a special praise that he or she had for this particular child. So the other children cannot fill the gap that this child has left. So don't tell that person that, thank God you have other children. It might be true, but this is not something that this person wants to hear. Also, there's another statement that people usually use that, thank God your mom died old. Thank God at least you've gotten to see your mom to maybe adulthood age. You know, some of us, we lost our moms when we were young. No, that is not someone you tell to someone who is mourning. As I said, it is true, and it could be true, but this is not something that you should be telling someone who is mourning at that particular time. Because either your mom, you die young or old, that remains your mom, and the love is different. So that is not something that you tell to someone. Something else that at times we don't tell someone who is mourning or someone who is grieving, I know whatever you're feeling. You don't know. You don't know whatever that person is feeling. Don't tell them that you know whatever they are feeling, because you don't know. That is a statement that at times is never comforting. You don't know whatever they are feeling, so don't tell them that you know you don't know. Something else that we should never tell to someone who is mourning, don't tell them that, you know what, everything happens for a reason. It's true, everything happens for a reason, but that is not something that you should be telling to that person at that particular time. They also know it, so don't tell them. That is not a phrase that we should be using at that particular time, that everything happens for a reason. It's true, but I don't think that is something that that person needs to be hearing at that given time. Something else that at times we don't tell to someone who has lost someone, especially if the person who has went to be with the Lord is someone who was sick, someone who was in pain. You don't tell that person that, you know what, thank God this person is no longer in pain. Thank God this person has been healed permanently. Because in one or another, as an individual, I'm the one who has been left. That is not what I wanted. I wanted this person to get healed. So it's good you're telling me that I thank God he is now, or she is now, has no pain. He is now healed permanently. It's okay me telling you that way, but you as the person who is helping me to heal, don't be there to tell me such kind of words. Because in one or another, they will trigger something in me. So avoid telling someone, thank God that now she is no longer in pain. Thank God they are no longer in pain. It's true, but don't be mentioning such words to that person at such given time. Also, then don't tell someone who is mourning, you know what, that was God's will. It's okay. It was God's will, but I don't think that person needs to hear that at that moment. It's true, yes, but that is not something that is comforting to that person. Telling them that it was God's will and God does whatever fits best and all that, it's good, but it's not quite comforting. It's triggering in some way or another, because that person will be like, so it's God's will for me to stay without a mom. So it's God's, do you mean that God loves me? So you'll be triggering some other things. So it's good to avoid such phrases when you're helping someone who is mourning. Something else you don't at times speak is maybe a couple that maybe has lost a child, as I was saying, and in this manner, maybe even this couple does not have another child. Maybe it was the firstborn, maybe even it was a miscarriage and that right. You don't tell that mom, you try another time, God will give you another child. And I'm like, yes, it's true. That mom will be given another child. You tell her, you know what, you're still young, you'll get another baby. Thank God, do what and what. No, that is not comforting to that person. The fact is, this was a child that has gone. This was a child that was hers and now she's gone. So don't be there to tell her on how she will get other children. In one or another, she also knows that. So don't be there to keep on reminding her. It's a bit triggering and something that we should always avoid. Something else that we should avoid someone who is grieving. Don't keep on telling them, you know what, give you time, give yourself time, you'll feel better. You know what, time heals many wounds and such like. Because it's like you telling that person it's only now you are crying. By the time you like stop crying and such like, that is what you expect from that person, but don't be there to tell them. Those are just but a few of the things that we should always avoid to tell someone who is grieving, especially at that point of intense mourning. There are so many things we should avoid, and it's good to always judge whatever you're saying, whether it's something important or it's something that you can avoid. So let's avoid some insensitive terms and insensitive phrases that in one or another could be triggering and such like. It takes wisdom to deal with someone who is grieving. And before I conclude, there's something that I will not forget to touch on, and the aftercare of someone who is mourning. The aftercare in this manner, I mean that care that you should give to this person after the burial, because most of the times we focus so much on that duration before the burial, and after the burial we like feel that it's done. And as most people always say, the real mourning starts after the burial, because these are the times that if there were, even in prayer meetings that were usually being made, they stop after the burial. If there are people who are gathering in the home of the bereaved person, they stop after the burial. Visitors who had come from various places, they go back to their homes after the burial. So the real mourning always starts after the burial, because these are the times that everyone goes back to their usual chores and usual activities, and now then the family is left on their own. And only that I always say, it's very important, as much as you really supported this person before the burial, after the burial, even give the support twice, because this is the person, the position where everything is getting back, it is coming to reality. This person is now filling the exact gap that this person who has left, however, is filling the gap. These are times that you get into terms with, oh, now this is the grave. Oh, now my mom, my dad is right here. This is my child who is right here. So everything is just coming into terms. And this is the time where every other person is now gone. And it's very important to have this aftercare after the burial. What should we do after the burial? As a friend, as an individual, as a colleague and such like, be there to always contact this person. Contact in manner like, don't be so quiet. If before then you used to make 2 calls a day, make them 3 or 4. Always reach out to this person in the morning, get to know how they slept. Contact these people. In this manner, you make them not to have these moments of you lonely, because if you have ever been left by a person, anytime that you get to your mind gets to be idle, you'll be thinking about this issue. It will carry away a lot of your mind. So it's good to be there to contact them, to engage them in talks, in activities and such like. Be there to engage them. It will help them get away a lot from this issue that is happening in their lives. Something else that we should do after burial, it's good to avoid overpromising. We really promise a lot at times during burial, especially for relatives, for aunties and uncles and such like. It's so bad at times, this promise that we always give during burial. There are children who have been left by their parents, and you'll be there promising how you'll help them, how you'll educate them, how you'll support them, how you'll be their mom, you'll be their dad, and where within you, this is just a word of maybe to excite them. And it's so bad, especially to children, when you promise them something, one thing, they are departed. So by you telling them that, you give them comfort. And you know very well it's not something that you are into it. It's not something that you'll do. I always say, other than promising to do something, why can't you just purpose to do it? There's maybe someone who has been left, maybe that person has been left an orphan, a little kid and such like. Me as an auntie, me as an uncle, why don't I purpose to help this person other than promise? Because when I purpose, this person doesn't know I promised. I purposed. I myself. But when you promise, you give this child, you give this person, maybe a widow somewhere, an expectation. So it's always so long to raise their expectation. because you are in a point of need. You are in a point of desperation. You don't know how life will be without this person. I have come here, I've promised you so much, I've excited you, I've given you hope, and in one way or another, I know it's not something that I'll do. So it's very important for us to avoid promising after the burial. What you do, just purpose to do something but don't promise. Because at times those are the things that kills this person twice. Because you have ever listened to children who are left by parents when they were young, they will always say of how the aunties and the uncles promised them so much. It's good at times not never to promise anything, because they will not be expecting anything. Something else that we need to do after the burial, always be there for these people in such a manner that there are people after the burial, it's when they get to open up. It's when they get to talk. It's when they get to express their feelings. It's very important. Don't like deny that person to talk. Don't anytime they bring the conversation of the bereaved person, you silencing them. You're telling them, do you know what? This person has died, we have buried him. Let's not talk about those stories. No, never silence someone. Someone who has been grieving, even if you have buried that person in 1 month, 2 months, and they still feel they need to be talking about the same person, you should not deny them that chance. Let them talk it out. Because healing is a journey, and it might not take a month or 2. It can take the entire honeymoon. Let them talk, even if it's a year and they still want to talk about it. Always allow them to talk it out. You'll be like, where are we building these stories? Why do you want to go back to that? If at all they are talking it out and they start crying, don't be there. Stop talking about things. It's the thing that is making you to cry. No, let them talk it out. Allow that person to talk that thing out until to a point that they'll be talking about the issue and they won't cry about it. They won't hurt about it. Let them talk it out to a point that they'll be talking it out like a story. So don't be there to tell them, stop talking about this, it will make you do this. No. A year later, 2 years later, they still feel they want to cry about the issue, let them do it. Always be there for that person. And something else that at times we can do, maybe after the burial and such we can at times try to offer therapy and such You can maybe pay such person a trip to somewhere, maybe for days or for weeks, to just go and get out of the normal, maybe extract them from their normal home or their normal residential place. In this, you get them here and you give them a break, because maybe after the burial, maybe it's a husband who has died. She just goes back immediately to the same bed they used to sleep with the husband and such They are just in the same environment. First, give that person a different environment to accept, to hearing that thing, to now accept, oh, now in the house, I'll just be alone. So, in the house, let that person get to adapt that thing when maybe he or she is away from the normal residential place. So at times, if it's possible, if you are able to, as that colleague or that maybe friend and such you can see how you can pay such a person a trip to somewhere. You can maybe, if you are in town, you can even have some time to go to up country. Just be in the village, spend a week or 2. It gives you a closure of things. It helps you get that reality that now life will not be as normal as it was. So at times, changing the environment is very important. Help that person to change the environment. Or maybe he or she used to spend time in their house alone. You can even offer yourself a month to go and live with that person in their house. This will help them to adapt now the change of life. Life was like this, now it's like this. Maybe this person had a child, now the child is gone. It's not good for her to adapt to that life alone. When you have that other person, it's very important. So it's good to always ensure that this person has gotten a difference. If she was alone, be there, you can change the environment, you can relocate and such Changing the environment at times, it really helps to heal and at times to even get to forget easily. And something else that is also very important, and it's also good that we try to engage in. Maybe if you get to lose someone, this is someone who had some special days that you used to celebrate together. Let's say something like birthdays. Let's say something like anniversaries. Let's say something like, what else do we usually, maybe even the if at all someone ever dies on a certain day, maybe a year to come, you'll be having that service of maybe remembering them, commemorating the death of so and such like. And in one or another, these are days that will always be special to someone. If you lose a husband or you lose a wife, you had that anniversary day that you used to celebrate together. So I have a friend here. This friend lost a husband or lost a wife. And I know maybe on August, a certain date, this was the anniversary date. On such a day, it's a day that I should be present in her life. Because in one or another, I know, even if she won't celebrate the anniversary, she'll have that time of memories of how they used to celebrate the anniversary and such like. I should be very vigilant enough to be in her life, to be maybe close to her, to offer her support in such days. In days of birthdays, you lose a partner, you used to celebrate birthdays together. I should be there. Maybe you lose a partner, this person used to make your birthday so special. So on your birthday, you always be feeling like, if my husband was still alive, maybe he'll do for me this, he'll do for me this. So on those special days that you feel this is your friend, this is your colleague, will be having triggering moments, will be having thoughts or memories, or maybe we'll be there to be like, today is our anniversary. If my husband was alive, if my wife was alive, today is my daughter's birthday. If she was alive, you could have done this. It's always very important to always know that those are special days to this person. Be there to give them support. Be there to like comfort them, because in one or another, it will be bringing some emotions of the loss of that person. So it's also very important and very key. If they are having celebrations, if they are having commemoration, if they are having at times those days that they feel they used to celebrate, and this person is doing something, be there for them, support them and such like. Those are also some of the few that we should maybe at times try to engage in. And one thing I always say, healing is a journey. Healing is a journey. And at times, we at times so hard on ourselves. At times we are so quick on ourselves. We want like healing to be instant. Healing is a journey. Let's always be at times be patient with ourselves. Be very patient with yourself. If it will take me, I don't know how long for me to heal or to stop crying about a certain issue, let me be okay with myself, because it's my heart. I must give it that time. I always compare healing with the instance of a wood. And when we are young, there are woods that we got. Maybe when you were in that catheter age, you are maybe 5, 6, 7 years, there is a certain wood that you got. You know, when you're young, children get to play with so many things. At times you climb on trees, at times you play funny games, and you get an injury. There are some woods even now we usually have, and we got when we were very young. And what at times reminds us of those woods is the scar that we have. Maybe on your knees, maybe on your legs, maybe on your face or somewhere. There are some scars we have, but they are of woods that happened so many years ago. And when we ever get to see the scars, it reminds us of something that ever happened. And one thing that we can admit from this illustration is that we always heal, but there are scars that always remain in us. And the reason why these scars remains, these scars will always remind us of whatever had hurt us, the injury we got and such like. But if a wound has stayed for so long, it eventually heals. But have you ever gotten yourself in such a situation that you've gotten a wound somewhere, and maybe after a week or so, you look at the wound and you'll be like, I think this wound is healed. And you try like to extract the outer cover of the wound. And to some point, at times the wound gets to bleed, or the wound gets to start oozing some watery stuff and such like, because the wound is not yet healed. You are like trying to quicken it, and you're like trying to rub it off in assumption that it has healed, but it's not yet time. The wound has not healed. Why can't we allow our wounds to heal completely? Don't be so much concerned on rubbing it off and like being so quick on like washing it off that it has healed. No. Give the wound its time to heal. And you know why some wounds heal faster and others don't heal faster? It's because of the depth of injury that wound had. If at all you had hurt deeper in the skin, it will take time for that wound to heal, compared to that heal that just affected the outer skin. So the same way with grieving. You might have lost a mom. You are maybe 2 or 3 in your family, and maybe how the firstborn, the lastborn, or the child who is even in the middle gets to heal is different, because the relation you had with this person who you have lost is different. So how this person heals and how you heals is very different. So don't be like, so and so, I saw within 3 years, within 2 years, they had already healed. Why am I taking so long? However you hurt. The depth of hurting is different, so don't expect yourself to heal like a certain person. Give yourself time to heal. Don't be impatient with yourselves. Be patient as much as possible. If you'll be crying for 2 years, allow yourself to cry. Don't be like, it's like you're restraining yourself at times from crying. You get to see a picture of someone you loved and they went to be with the Lord, and you don't want to cry. If at all that crying will relieve that pain, if it will ease in your journey of healing, please cry. So always be patient with yourself. Allow your wound to heal completely, because if I have a wound that I have 20 years ago, sorry, as much as I may try to rub it off, that wound will never bleed. It will never get back to that point of oozing and such like, because it's now healed. The same way that happens to us. It will be years to come, and you'll be seeing a photo of someone you lost, and you'll be like, you even smiling about it, because you're remembering of the nice memories you had. You now no longer cry, you now give it out as a story. It doesn't take a day or 2, so be patient with yourself. That time will come, that wound will be completely healed. We don't heal to forget. No. At times we confuse it with that. Saying that I've healed over someone I lost, it doesn't mean that I've forgotten them. It doesn't mean that I've stopped loving them. You'll be loving them, you'll be remembering them, but the inner you has healed. You can now speak about it so comfortably. So healing is a journey. Let's be patient with ourselves. Thank you so much for your time. And for those who have not subscribed, you can consider subscribing. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being there to support me. And until next time, bye bye. Love you. Bye.